The studio lights burned a little too brightly that morning, even for Lorraine Kelly. She'd hosted thousands of interviews, survived awkward silences, political storms, and celebrity meltdowns. But today, there was already a strange electricity in the air, the kind that made her producer whisper nervously into his headset as he counted down to live broadcast. 3, 2, 1. The theme music faded. Cameras swooped in. Lorraine smiled her signature warm morning smile. "Good morning, everyone. We have a very special guest today, the legendary Liam Neeson." Applause erupted. Liam stepped onto the set, tall, calm, and carrying the weight of someone who had already lived a dozen lives. He nodded at the audience, then at Lorraine. His smile was polite, tight, almost too controlled. Lorraine sensed it immediately, something was off. They exchanged greetings, and she began with the usual friendly questions about his new film. Liam answered smoothly, but his eyes kept drifting off, as if something else was bothering him. "So," Lorraine continued, "your new movie Shadowlines is already topping charts. Big congratulations. But, Liam, I read something interesting yesterday. Apparently you insisted on doing one of the most dangerous stunts yourself." Liam nodded slowly. "Yes, that's true. And the studio wasn't happy, were they?" "No," he replied, his jaw tightening, "they weren't." Lorraine laughed lightly. "Well, at your age." The sentence wasn't meant as an insult. It was typical morning show teasing. But it landed wrong. Liam's expression changed instantly. "My age," he repeated, voice low and sharp. The audience fell silent. Lorraine blinked. "Oh, I didn't mean anything rude. I just meant, you meant that I should act old." Liam said slowly. "Like I'm supposed to sit down quietly now. Not do the things I've been doing for 40 years. The tension in the room spiked. Off camera, a producer frantically waved at Lorraine to change the subject. She tried. "Liam, no, of course not. I only meant it's impressive." But Liam leaned forward. "Impressive? Lorraine, you know what's funny? Every year, someone asks me if I'm too old to do what I love. And every year, I give the same answer: age doesn't define capability." The audience clapped, trying to ease the tension. Lorraine forced a smile. "Absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't mean it negatively at all." Liam continued, voice rising slightly. "I'm here to talk about my film. Not to be reminded of some number on my passport." This was not the direction Lorraine expected for her calm morning show. She tried again. "All right, let's move on." But Liam wasn't done. "I've done interviews for years," he said, "and I'm tired of being told what I can or cannot do." Behind the cameras, the producer whispered urgently into his mic, "Cut to commercial if it gets worse." Lorraine cleared her throat. "Liam, I respect you deeply. But this is a friendly show. No one is attacking you." Liam exhaled sharply, rubbing the bridge of his nose. "I know. I'm not angry at you. Not really." His voice softened for a second. "I've just had a difficult week." That should have been the calm moment. But Lorraine, trying to lighten the mood, made the mistake that flipped everything. "Well, we all have long weeks, don't we? Even movie stars." Liam looked up sharply. "Lorraine, with respect, you don't know what kind of week I've had." The tone turned icy. Lorraine felt her cheeks heat. "All right, then why don't you tell us?" He stared at her. Long, hard. "No," he finally said. "Because this isn't the place for that." "Then let's go back to the film," Lorraine began. But Liam stood up. Just stood up, right in the middle of the segment. The audience gasped. Lorraine's eyes widened. Her producer nearly fell over. Liam, we're live," she whispered desperately. "I know," he said, adjusting his jacket. "Where are you going?" He looked at her with a mix of exhaustion and frustration. "To get some air." Lorraine tried to laugh, but it came out shaky. "Sit down, please. We still have questions." But Liam shook his head. "Not today." He stepped away from the couch. The stage manager instinctively moved to stop him, and Liam gently brushed past. "Let him go," someone said in the producer's headset. But Lorraine couldn't. Not on live TV. "Liam Neeson, you cannot just walk off the show," she called out. Liam paused, turned around, and said calmly, "Then you'll have to kick me off." And he walked out. The studio went dead silent. Lorraine stared at the empty doorway, shocked, furious, and embarrassed in front of millions of viewers. Her producer whispered, "Lorraine, we have to cut to commercial." But she shook her head. She was too stunned to move. And as the cameras zoomed in on her frozen expression, the entire nation watched, waiting for her reaction. Lorraine sat frozen for a full second after Liam disappeared backstage. Millions of viewers were still watching. The crew waited for her signal. But Lorraine Kelly was not the kind of host who let a moment humiliate her. She inhaled sharply, smoothed her dress, and forced a smile. "Well, that was unexpected," she said brightly, as if nothing extraordinary had happened. The audience laughed nervously. "Let's take a short break." But before she could finish, her producer shouted from behind the camera, "Lorraine, don't cut. He's coming back." The audience turned. Lorraine's eyebrows shot up. Liam Neeson stepped back onto the stage, but this time he wasn't alone. A tall, worried-looking young woman clung to his arm. Her hands trembled. Her eyes were red, as if she had been crying. Lorraine's confusion deepened. "Liam, what's going on?" He guided the young woman forward gently. "This is Anna," he said quietly. "My niece." Lorraine blinked. The crew stared. The whole country leaned closer to their screens. Anna gave a small nod to Lorraine, then whispered something to Liam, barely audible. He looked at Lorraine, his voice low but steady. "She came to the studio this morning. I didn't want her on camera. She's been through something, and she didn't want to be seen." Lorraine softened immediately. "You should have told me." "I couldn't," he said. "She asked me not to." The audience murmured with sympathy. Lorraine stood up from her chair. "Anna, sweetheart, you don't have to say a word. You're safe here." But Anna shook her head. "No, I want to. I can't hide anymore." She stepped toward Lorraine, wiping her tears. "I didn't want him to talk about his bad week," Anna said softly, voice trembling. "Because the bad week was mine." Liam rested a gentle hand on her shoulder. Lorraine approached slowly, careful not to overwhelm her. "Take your time." Anna swallowed hard. 3 days ago, I was followed home from work. A man tried to attack me. A hush fell over the studio. Liam's jaw tightened again, but not with anger toward Lorraine, this time with pain. "I found out only yesterday," he said. "I flew straight to London last night." Anna continued, "I didn't want to report it. I felt ashamed, scared. I blamed myself." Lorraine reached out and took her hand. "You are not to blame." Not for a second. The audience clapped softly, the kind of empathetic applause reserved for someone showing courage. "That's why Liam walked off," Anna whispered. "He wasn't angry at you. He's been terrified for me. And protective. Too protective. And when you brought up age, I snapped," Liam admitted. "Because I feel like I should have been there. To protect her." Lorraine shook her head gently. "Liam, even the strongest men can't be everywhere. And age has nothing to do with heroism." Liam exhaled, nodding slowly. The producer gestured urgently, they were already 10 minutes off schedule. But Lorraine raised her hand. "Don't end it." "Anna," she said softly, "would you like to say something to other women watching?" Anna hesitated, then squared her shoulders. "I want them to report it," she said firmly. "Don't hide. Don't be silent like I tried to be. Tell someone. Anyone." Liam squeezed her hand proudly. The audience rose in a standing ovation. Lorraine wiped her eyes discreetly. "Thank you, Anna. Truly." She turned to Liam. "And thank you for coming back." He managed a small smile. "I shouldn't have stormed out. I apologize." Lorraine chuckled. "Well, it was great television, at least." The room erupted in laughter. Liam looked at the audience, humbled. "I've played heroes all my life, but today, she's the brave one." Another wave of applause swept the studio. Lorraine stepped closer, voice warm and sincere. "Liam, Anna, both of you are welcome here anytime. And next time, maybe let's all breathe before walking off." Liam laughed under his breath. "Deal." Lorraine finally signaled the producer. "All right," she smiled at the camera. "We'll take a break now. And after that, a lovely segment about winter recipes. Stay with us." The cameras faded. The lights dimmed. And as the break began, Lorraine wrapped her arms gently around Anna, while Liam watched with visible relief, the storm from earlier now replaced by something softer, steadier, and human.